Young one, sit beside me by the fire. The flickering flames will reveal to you the way of men, as it has been passed down from our ancestors. Men who fought with honor, men who revered the gods, and men who lived with strength, courage, and pride. You are at the cusp of understanding what it truly means to be a man in our land of Thrace. And before you is the path I walk, and that all men must walk if they are to earn their place in the world. To be a man in Thrace is to embrace strength, not just of the body, but of the spirit. The body is the vessel that carries us through life, and you must care for it as you would a sacred tool. It must be hardened like iron in the forge. The training of a warrior begins with the very first breath you take. From the moment you can hold a spear, you begin your journey into the warrior's path. You must become swift, agile, and lethal in battle. Your hands must be calloused from gripping the hilt of your sword, your feet swift to carry you into battle, and your heart steady as the beat of the earth. But it is not enough to train your body alone. A man of Thrace must also cultivate his spirit. This land is harsh. Our winters freeze the breath in your lungs, and our summers scorch the land until it turns to dust. We must be resilient in the face of such trials, not only physically but in our minds. It is the spirit that will carry you when your legs are tired and when the weight of your shield becomes unbearable. Your spirit is where true courage lies. To fight not for yourself, but for the gods, for your brothers in arms, and for your people. That is what sets the true man apart. Have you ever felt the burn of your muscles and pushed through it? That is where the warrior's spirit begins, when the mind overcomes the fatigue of the flesh. In Thrace, we are born into a world where war is ever present, like the rivers that flow through the mountains, always moving, always shaping the land. We do not fear battle. We welcome it, for it is in battle that a man proves his worth. Our kings and chiefs, like the mighty Resats, lead us into war with their iron wills and the strength of their ancestors coursing through their veins. You too will one day find yourself holding your shield in battle, standing with your comrades, defending our sacred lands. But remember this, young warrior. Battle is not merely about the clash of weapons. It is about honor. A man fights for the good of his people, to protect his family, to uphold his land, and to ensure that the gods look favorably upon him. The Thracian warrior never fights out of malice or greed. He fights out of necessity. When the day comes, do not seek victory for pride's sake. Seek it to preserve the balance of life and the will of the gods. Are you prepared to fight, not for yourself, but for your brothers and sisters, for the very soil that nourishes you? We do not live in isolation, young one. Our land, the soil beneath our feet, the wind that sweeps the plains, and the mountains that guard us are all touched by the divine. The gods watch over us, guide us, and punish us when we falter. Among them, there are many who represent strength, courage, and war. The mighty Ares, god of war, is the one to whom we give our most fervent prayers before we go into battle. It is to him that we offer sacrifices to gain his favor, for his anger can be as destructive as his blessings are powerful. It is his har that courses through a warrior's veins when he raises his spear to the enemy. Without Ares' favor, a man is nothing on the battlefield. Then there is Dionysus, the god of ecstasy and revelry, but also the protector of the wild and untamed. We, the Thracians, are a people deeply connected to the rhythms of nature, and Dionysus embodies this untamed spirit. He teaches us to balance the fierce warrior within us with the wisdom of celebration. After victory, we give thanks to Dionysus with wild feasts, where the earth's bounty is offered up in gratitude, and we join in ecstatic rites to renew our strength. And do not forget Bendis, the goddess of the hunt and the moon, who walks through the forests with bow and arrow in hand. She represents the woman warrior as much as she does the sacred hunt. Her followers are those who understand that hunting is not merely for sustenance, but for connection with the divine. As a man of Thrace, you must honor her, for it is from the hunt that we learn discipline, patience, and the art of survival in the wild. Have you ever stopped to listen to the wind rustling through the trees, or the earth groaning under your feet? These are the whispers of the gods. No man is truly a man without his brothers. In the ancient ways, a warrior's most sacred bond is with those he stands beside in battle. To be alone is to be weak, and to forsake your comrades is to forsake your very soul. The bond between warriors is unbreakable, forged through shared blood, sweat, and tears. It is your brother who will watch your back, who will fight beside you in the heat of battle, who will carry you when you fall. But this bond goes beyond battle. It extends to all aspects of life. In times of peace, we share in the joys of the harvest. We dance and sing around the fire, and we strengthen our bonds through communal feasts. The strength of our people is in the strength of our unity. Lone wolf may survive, but a pack thrives. Have you ever fought beside someone and felt the bond of that shared struggle? It is not something you can explain, only something you can feel. While the warrior ethos is central to the life of men in Thrace, it is also important to understand the role of women in our society. Women, though not warriors in the same sense as men, are nonetheless powerful and respected in their own right. The greatest of our women are those who can hold their own. Whether they lead our homes with wisdom, serve as priestesses of the gods, or even take up arms when the need arises. The warrior spirit exists within them as well, although it may manifest in different ways. What do you think, young one? Is it not true that man's greatness is reflected in the greatness of the women who stand beside him? It is my solemn duty to tell you as a man what is not acceptable. To be a man in Thrace means to bear the weight of responsibility with honor. Weakness is not a trait we tolerate in our men. A coward may turn his back when the battle comes, but a true warrior will stand firm, shield raised, and face the storm. Failure to do so brings shame upon you and your people. A man who does not protect his kin is no man at all. A man who turns from his duty, who shirks from the call to battle, dishonors his ancestors, his gods, and the land that nurtures him. We live by a code that is as old as the stars. You must never allow yourself to fall into the darkness of fear or self-interest, or you will be excluded from the community. What do you fear, young one? What is the true test of your courage? Thus, the path of a man in Thrace is not an easy one. It is filled with trials and challenges that will test your body, mind, and spirit. But in facing these trials, you will find your true purpose. You will find that your life has meaning, that your actions have weight, and that the gods themselves watch over your every step. As you walk this path, remember that you are not just a warrior for yourself, but for your people, for your gods, and for the honor of those who came before you. And whether you are young or old, it is never too late to join this path. Now rise and walk with pride, for the land of Thrace calls you to greatness. Will you answer that call?